The movie, I mean this with zero hyperbole. I I know I use hyperbole quite a bit. I am actually quite a big fan of hyperbole. I think it's I abuse the ever-loving crap out of it, as you can see. But that is actually the worst movie ever. And I am not the only person who says that. I have a friend who watches like 400 movies a year. Like, that is his love in life, is movies. And it was so bad. Like, not only is it like, it's not just like, oh, the writing's bad, or like, you know, the story doesn't make sense, or no, the writing's bad, the story doesn't make sense, the characters don't make sense. There are constant, terrible, awful cuts of the wildest freaking, like, the wildest cuts you've ever seen in your life. Oh, I do have a little bit of fuzzies. There's like straight just like Windows Movie Maker transitions, but fucked up, or like moments where things will just cut away and then back to the same part for like literally no reason. Oh, sorry. It's called Clash in the College. Wait, did that show up? Okay, it did show up and then it disappeared. There it is. Okay. This is an actual picture from the movie. This is an actual picture. This is them showing an ultrasound and saying the word baby on it. Because obviously, as the audience couldn't possibly figure out what the hell this was. So it says fucking baby on it. I am not kidding when I said I cried. This is the first time in a very very long time I legitimately cried. I was bawling with tears for how hard I was laughing. Like, this to me is the single greatest. This is the single greatest still of all time. This is peak comedy to me, but it's not a comedy. It is a complete straight-laced movie about how kids go into college and get indoctrinated into a political ideology by professors and other students. That's what the movie is about. Is the movie itself propaganda? No, because it can't be. It wasn't good enough to be propaganda. That's the problem. Is that it didn't have... So, okay. So there's like 3 stories involved in this, right? There's one story, which is that the one of the main characters is sleeping with his teacher, right? There's another story that is a foreign exchange student who is experiencing all of these like crazy political agenda situations happening, but is also trying to learn like proper English. And then there's the last one, which happens literally halfway through Act 2, which is that one of the teachers who is just indoctrinating his student with all of this right-wing media bullshit, and it like legitimately is constantly name dropping like Rush Limbaugh and Glenn Beck and all of these other Michael Savage, like all of these like the dirt worst people on the entire planet. He's indoctrinating one of his students into like a complete right-wing propaganda and showing like him just going straight off the deep end, right? And in the plot, like, there is, and I should say trigger warning for anybody in terms for rape, there's a point where there is a person who is just sick of, like, completely unprompted by the movie, is a person that is completely sick of America and goes into a random parking lot to burn a flag. This guy comes around because he's all rah-rah America. He's like, you can't burn the flag. People fought for that crap, right? And so he punches him, and the person who gets punched, who wants to burn the flag, gets back at him by raping his girlfriend. And then his hard stance on abortion was that, like, oh, like, the baby did nothing wrong, and therefore you shouldn't have abortion. And then she leaves him, and then the movie's over. But the affair that happens with the teacher and one of the characters literally doesn't finish. The dude gets a C, and then that's the end of it. Like, they don't officially break up. He just gets mad at her. The other one where he's just trying to learn, like, about America and, like, learning how to write, like, or read and write and speak proper English, like, he legit, like, there's a point where he is just trying to learn all of this crap, and then halfway in, he just decides that he is into women now because he just doesn't give a crap about the previous plot. And so he is going up to random women in the library asking them how to pronounce shit. And then there's another time where, because this dude's Indian, someone asked him if he knows how to do yoga, and he says, yes, I'll teach you. And then goes to the internet to learn what yoga is. Completely unprompted. This is just story, by the way. I am not talking about writing. I am not talking about the way it's shot. I'm not talking about the way it's cut. I'm not talking about the way it's edited. I'm not talking about the sound design. I am not talking about how awful everybody's mic'd. I am not talking about any of that. I am literally only talking about the parts that is you, as people who are listening to me talk, could grasp by me speaking. It is the worst movie I have ever seen. And my friend, this is what I was getting to before, my friend who is a massive movie buff, who is legitimately watches like 400, because my friend's a big movie buff and I watch movies with him sometimes. He loves movies. Like, he finds the art in movies. That's his thing. He loves movies to death. And he watched this movie because he wants to watch a movie. And he doesn't care whether it's good or bad. He wants to watch movies. That's like how much he loves movies. And he watches like 400 movies a year. No joke. And this is just one of the movies that he watched. And it's just fucking terrible. And even him, who watches legitimately like 400 movies a year, said, this is the worst movie I have ever watched. And I now have a sense of weird, warped pride that I might have actually factually watched quite possibly the worst movie ever. It was like time ceased to exist. We watched an hour and 20 into it. We took 3 intermissions. We took 3 intermissions for a 2-hour movie. Think about that. There was multiple times where everybody went, we are gassed. We have to stand up. We have to remove ourselves from the movie for like 10-15 minutes. And because we got to the first intermission at like 40 minutes, and then we got to the next one at like an hour and 20. And those 40 minutes felt like a fucking eternity. Because not only does nothing happen in the second act, 2 of those plots legit just fucking fall off the face of the earth. And then another one starts. The whole abortion thing happens later on. That starts literally halfway through Act 2. It is... Watch it. But I swear, if you make it 20 minutes past, I would have never watched this alone. if I didn't watch this with other people, I think I would have gone insane, because I don't know if I would have seen that movie and have believed it to be real if I did not watch. It was like a fucking fever dream, because it just did, like in the sense of a fever dream making literally no sense. That's what I felt like I watched. Watch it at your own peril. Could I make a drinking game out of this movie? If the drinking game was, there's no drinking game that you can make that wasn't a possible death sentence. Like, what do you want to make the drinking game out of? The amount of unnecessary cuts, the amount of times that a poster that is pinned onto the wall that's supposed to be like this backdrop that's like constantly in the background showing like the ideology of one of the teachers, fucking moves so that it's in literally every single shot, despite it being this like a school poster. And it's not straight every single time, by the way. Or how about every single time that you can hear the microphone rub on somebody's t-shirt or do something not picking up people's voices or the sounds around them. Like they do a jogging sequence and you can you can hear them jogging. Or how about every single time the sound levels change for literally no reason? Or how about every single time they use a transition and the transition isn't fully realized? Like, you know how they do, like, there's that one transition in Movie Maker where it's like, it goes like this, where it like swings and then like goes in like that. But usually like the frame has a picture, right? Because it's transitioning into the next picture. What if that was just a black screen? And then afterwards it transitioned into the real picture. What if, like, all of a sudden, like 2/3 through the movie, they just decided that every time they were going to cut, they were going to put a black frame? What if you did a drinking game for all of the black frames there? You literally started an hour in, you would still die. Or let's put a drinking game for every time this movie name drops some crazy right-wing, like, propagandist piece of shit. You would die. There's nothing about that movie that is not indulgent. In not a single good way. It is. That's what, like, the only reason I speak of it this way, because I legitimately have some sort of sick pride in saying that I have maybe watched the worst movie ever, and that might be, if not actually, very close to a factual statement. That blows me away. Because I have seen what people call the worst movies ever, and they're at least shot competently, or all of the like transitions and stuff like that are just normal. Maybe like uninteresting, but like maybe frame to frame is like completely fine. This, you are at a constant sensory overload with this fucking movie. It is a nightmare. All right. Watch it at your own peril. Watch it, like, please don't watch it alone. Please, use the buddy system. Watch it with a friend. Maybe get alcohol. Plan on breaks. And if you do, please come back and let me know what you thought about the movie. I know I have charged that movie tremendously with a negative point of view, but I don't think I could have ever sold this movie in a way that made sense, because it can't. It just literally can't. So, if you do, please do your best to have fun. Because, Jesus. All right. 25 minutes in. Thank you for everybody who shuffled in. I appreciate it. Sorry for starting late. I owe you the extra 25 minutes, so we're going to do just that for the Code Realize playthrough. I hope everybody's having a good day. Jesus fuck, man. That was... I actually don't know, this is gonna be a separate upload on YouTube. I could totally put my review of Clash in the College